Here are the top stories for today, May 15, 2020. Areas with low risk of COVID-19 infection will be placed under GCQ and not modified GCQ. Officials of the National Telecommunications Commission expressed regret for their failure to notify the House on cease and desist order against ABS-CBN. The government is set to purchase PPEs and medical supplies for healthcare workers. And wellness tourism is expected to be in a good position during the post-pandemic period. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Malacanang on Thursday clarified that areas with a low risk of COVID-19 infection will be placed under general community quarantine and not modified GCQ starting May 16. According to presidential spokesperson Harry Roque, the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases decided to use GCQ instead of MGCQ since the guidelines for MGCQ are still being finalized. Under a GCQ, all except the elderly and youth are allowed outdoors. Public transport with strict safe distancing will be permitted, and government agencies will observe alternative work arrangements such as 4-day work week. Roque said the IATF is still open to all petitions and requests of local officials regarding the type of community quarantine in their respective regions, provinces, and cities. By May 16, all areas in the country will be placed under GCQ except for Metro Manila, Laguna, and Cebu City, which will be under a Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine or MECQ. Interzonal movements between areas classified as GCQ will be allowed subject to safety protocols by May 16. Those living in areas declared as MECQ but work in areas declared as GCQ will also be allowed to travel as long as they are employed in an industry allowed to operate. However, non-essential travels will still require clearance from their respective local government units.
So kung hindi naman po kaya talaga ng kumpanya na magbigay ng shuttle o kung walang sasakyan yung kanilang mga empleyado, wag na po munang magbukas dahil mas importante na ma-avoid po natin, maiwasan yung second wave na tinatawag. It's a policy decision po. We want to restart the economy but not at the expense of having a second wave.
Meanwhile, the government will not extend the June 14 deadline for the filing and payment of annual income tax returns for individuals and corporations. The tax-paying public may still opt to file and pay their taxes before the extended deadline.
Dahil kung hindi po tayo magpa-file ng ating tax returns, wala po tayong pera na papasok sa gaban ng ating gobyerno na gagamitin natin para sa COVID-19.
As Typhoon Ambo made the first of numerous expected landfalls over the eastern Philippines on Thursday, Malacanang urged local officials to ensure that social distancing on a per-family basis would be observed in evacuation centers. Social distancing refers to maintaining a distance of 1 to 3 meters from other people as protection against catching or spreading the coronavirus disease 2019.
Ayon po sa Oplan Listo, sapat-sapat na po ang ating mga relief goods, handa na po ang ating mga evacuation centers at ipapatupad po ang social distancing on a per family basis. So yan naman po ay pinaghandaan na ng mga otoridad. At sanay na naman po tayo pagdating sa contingencies na dahil po sa mga bagyo.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government will give showcause orders to 43 mayors over their poor performance in the distribution of the emergency cash subsidy. These are the mayors in Western Visayas, Mimaropa, Central Visayas, Davao Region, National Capital Region, Ilocos Region, Cagayan Valley, Calabarzon, Eastern Visayas, Northern Mindanao, and Central Luzon. DILG Secretary Eduardo Año said these 43 local chief executives must explain why they had poor performance despite the 2 extensions of the deadline, with the latest deadline ending midnight of May 10. He said that the 43 LGUs had a 79% and below accomplishment rate as of the final deadline set on May 10 midnight. Meanwhile, the DILG Secretary and spokesperson Jonathan Malaya clarified that graft and corruption cases related to the handling of the SAP fund will now be investigated by the PNP CIDG. He said Anyo has decided to transfer the probe of corrupt practices of barangay officials from the DILG field offices to the PNP for the immediate filing of cases. He said the public may participate in validating the list of beneficiaries by checking the list posted in barangay halls, which also a requirement for LGUs to get the second tranche of SAP. The Philippines now has 29 certified COVID-19 test labs. And the Armed Forces of the Philippines gets 26 million worth of medical equipment. More on these from Marita Muahe.
The Philippines now has 29 certified laboratories capable of testing specimens of COVID-19 patients. The Department of Health on Thursday said, aside from the 29 licensed RT-PCR laboratories nationwide, we are also awaiting 80 more laboratories in Stage 3. These certified COVID-19 testing laboratories nationwide have performed 182,412 unique individual tests, where 91% of the tests resulted negative, while 9% resulted positive.
Lilinawin lamang po namin na ang bilang ng mga total tested individuals ay maaring mas mataas sa official number na inilalabas sapagkat ang mga numero pong ito ay sumasailalim pa sa case verification and validation process ng DOH.
The Armed Forces and the Police Mutual Benefit Association Incorporated on Thursday donated 26 million peso worth of medical equipment for use of the AFP in its efforts in containing the COVID-19 outbreak. The donated medical equipment consists of medical ventilators, lung ultrasounds, thermal scanners, disinfecting solutions, and personal protective equipment. These were procured through the donations of AFP MBAI employees. Rice farmers affected by the coronavirus pandemic have availed of the 5,000 peso cash aid from the government. DA Assistant Secretary Noel Reyes reported that 89% of its target beneficiaries under the financial subsidy to rice farmers have received the financial relief. The RFFA program is an unconditional cash transfer program which aims to give 5,000 peso financial assistance each to rice farmers tilling 0.5 to 2 hectares of land in 33 provinces nationwide. These programs are part of the government's social amelioration programs under the Bayanihan to Heal as One law. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Marita Muahe.
Still to come, officials of the National Telecommunications Commission expressed regret for their failure to notify the House on cease and desist order against ABS-CBN. The Department of Trade and Industry lists down some post-pandemic economic activities, including the Balik Provincial program in the proposed 2020 Investment Priorities Plan. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
Kakagaling ko lang ng grocery. Siyempre, hindi ko hahayaan na pumasok ang COVID-19 sa bahay at mapahamak ang pamilya ko. Kaya iniwan ko ang sapatos ko sa labas. At ngayon, maghuhugas ako ng kamay ng 20 seconds. O ayan, wala na ang virus. Tandaan, buhay ng pamilya natin na nakasalalay. Let's heal as one.
Alam niyo ba na pumapasok ang COVID-19 sa ating katawan sa pamamagitan ng mata, ilong at bibig? Kaya lagi kaming conscious dito sa bahay kapag umuubo kami. Lagi kami naghuhugas ng kamay in 20 seconds. Pag lumalabas kami, lagi namin suot ang mask. Lagi lang natin tatandaan mga mamshi. Buhay ng pamilya natin ang nakasalalay dito. Let's heal as one.
Alamin ang tamang paraan ng pag-ubo upang mapigilan ang paglaganap ng coronavirus disease 2019. Ugaliing magdala ng panyo o tissue. Kung uubo o babahing, takpan ang buong ilong at bibig gamit ang panyo o tissue. Kung walang dalang panyo o tissue, maaaring gamitin ang braso na pantakip. Kung nakararamdam na kailangan umubo o bumahing, agad na dumistansya sa mga tao sa paligid. Huwag dumura kung saan-saan, gumamit ng tissue at itapon sa basurahan. Ugaliin ang paghuhugas ng kamay at paggamit ng alcohol o hand sanitizer upang mamatay ang mikrobyo. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
Officials of the National Telecommunications Commission on Thursday expressed regret for their failure to notify the House leadership of its decision to issue a cease and desist order against media giant ABS-CBN. In a letter addressed to Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano and House Committee on Legislative Franchises Chair Franz Alvarez, the NTC official said the issuance of a cease and desist order against ABS-CBN was based on their collective assessment of existing laws that there were insurmountable obstacles to grant the network a provisional authority. They said that the issuance of a provisional authority would have amounted to an encroachment of Congress' exclusive power to grant, deny, extend, revoke, or modify broadcast franchises. The officials said they understand that the licensing power of the NTC may only arise from the necessary delegation of power from Congress through a law. The NTC would thus abide by any law passed by Congress, which may extend all telecommunication and broadcasting legislative franchises that expire during the public health emergency, if there be any. The NTC could have thus exercised more openness and prudence under the circumstances, and at the very least alerted Congress of NTC's inability based on legal grounds to issue the PA, as well as its subsequent decision to issue a CDO when the franchise of ABS-CBN expired. Meanwhile, the House Committee on Legislative Franchises on Thursday said it would consider the explanation and apology of NTC officials. Palawan Representative Franz Alvarez said the committee shall duly consider the officials' explanation and the apology contained therein in resolving whether or not they should be held in contempt. Meanwhile, Malacanang on Thursday said the Congress's approval of a provisional franchise for local media giant ABS-CBN is the best move. This after congressmen on Wednesday passed on second reading a bill granting ABS-CBN a temporary license to resume its broadcast operations for 5 months, while Congress decides whether the network deserves to get a fresh 25-year franchise.
It's not only the best move, it's the only move under our Constitution because it's very clear po no, na tanging Kongreso lang po ang pwedeng mag-grant ng franchise or mag-revoke ng franchise para sa mga broadcast companies. Inaasahan ko naman po na kung wala naman pong constitutional infirmity, pipirmahan naman po ito ng Presidente dahil pinarating na niya ang mensahe sa mga miyembro ng Kongreso, he is neutral, do your constitutional function.
And in our business news, economic activities that would help the government in its fight against COVID-19, along with the Balik Provincia program, are included in the proposed 2020 Investment Priorities Plan of the Board of Investments. Trade Secretary Ramon Lopez said Thursday his office already submitted the proposed 2020 IPP to the Office of the President for President Rodrigo Duterte's signature. In a webinar of the Nordic Chamber of Commerce of the Philippines, Lopez cited all qualified activities relating to the fight against COVID-19 pandemic as priority areas in the 2020 IPP. These include the manufacturing of essential products such as medicines, personal protective equipment, medical supplies, and consumables such as alcohol and sanitizers. The document also listed the provision of services such as crematoriums, laboratories, hospitals, and quarantine facilities. Lopez also expressed support to the Balik Provincia program. He added that investment activities that support the creation of new opportunities in provinces outside urban areas are included in the proposed investment priority list for this year. The Ilocos Norte provincial government has announced that its Liebling Sakai program will continue until the modified general community quarantine there is lifted. More on these and other news from the provinces from Janice Cabe.
The provincial government of Ilocos Norte's Liebling Sakai program has benefited a total of 6,105 essential workers who commute daily to work in this time of health crisis. The Liebling Sakai was started last March 20 to provide free transport services to medical workers, bank employees, grocery store employees, and other frontliners. The Metro Ilocos Norte Council said this would be a continuing operation until the quarantine is lifted. Ilocos Norte remains under modified general community quarantine. In Dumaguete City, the local government will allow for now the wearing of slippers or any open-toed footwear by motorcycle riders. Traffic enforcers drew flag when they flagged down and issued citation tickets to motorcycle riders who were wearing rubber slippers, open-toed sandals, or footwear that had the semblance of slippers. The Discipline Zone Enforcement Group said they are easing up on this specific violation while the city is amending its citation tickets issued to traffic violators. In the meantime, traffic enforcers will flag down and advise motorists to wear closed shoes when riding motorcycles but not fine them if found to be wearing slippers. In Negros Occidental, local buses are implementing health safeguards to protect passengers and bus personnel once trips resume on May 18. The Valyacar Transit Incorporated, operator of Ceres Liner and Tours buses, said as part of the safety measures, Ceres buses will only pick up passengers at the terminals. It will also impose the no face mask, no ride, and no standing policies and will install foot baths and hand washing areas. The number of passengers on each bus will be limited, while the driver's side or the front area of the bus will be closed to passengers. Meanwhile, passengers could expect a slight increase in fare rate due to social distancing. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cabe.
Up next, the government is set to purchase PPEs and medical supplies for healthcare workers. And wellness tourism is expected to be in a good position during the post-pandemic period. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
Mga mommies, pagdating sa COVID-19, dapat hindi tayo kampante. Bagamat hindi nakikita ang sakit na ito ay nakamamatay. At hanggang ngayon wala pa rin lunas. Kaya protektahan natin ang ating pamilya. Laging maghugas ng kamay, huwag hahawakan ng mukha, at manatili sa bahay para makaiwas sa sakit na ito. Tandaan, buhay ng pamilya natin ang nakasalalay dito. Let's hear this one.
Hi Caps! Kamusta?
Well, ito dahil sa COVID-19, medyo stress.
Okay lang yan Caps. Napagdaanan ko din yan.
Ano kaya pwede natin gawin, no?
Kung nararamdaman mo na gulong-gulo ka na sa mga naririnig mo, sa mga nababasa mo, mag-pause ka muna, saka ka huminga ng malalim.
Buti na lang tumawag ka. Iba talaga pag may nangangamusta.
A strong body starts with a strong mind.
Tama. Let's heal us one.
Tandaan ang tamang paraan ng paghuhugas at paglilinis ng kamay upang makaiwas sa iba't ibang karamdaman. Basain ng tubig ang mga kamay at sabunin. Unang sabunin ang mga palad at ang likod ng mga kamay. Kuskusin na maigi ang pagitan ng mga daliri at maging ang mga kuko. Isunod ang pagitan ng mga hinlalaki at kuskusin ng paikot ang mga dulo ng mga daliri sa magkabilang palad. Banlawang mabuti ang mga kamay sa malinis na tubig at patuyuin ang mga kamay gamit ang single-use towel o air dryer. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to! Isang paalala mula sa DOH, PCOO, KBP at ng himpilang ito.
The government will purchase an additional 11 million personal protective equipment and medical supplies worth 20 billion pesos to ensure the safety of healthcare workers amid the coronavirus pandemic. National Action Plan on COVID-19 Chief Implementer Carlito Galvez Jr. said The government has already purchased over 1 million protective gears and medical supplies worth 1.8 billion pesos. The gears are currently being distributed to about 699 hospitals nationwide. A complete set of medical-grade PPE sets is worth 1,800 to 2,000 pesos. Gov't said the medical-grade PPE sets with level 4 quality have passed the international medical standards and was designed to provide maximum protection for the medical workers. He said they are giving these PPE sets to medical frontliners nationwide to ensure their protection and safety. Gov't said since the government has begun purchasing and distributing medical-grade PPE sets, there has been a great reduction of death cases among healthcare workers in the country. A new online platform that could collect data of social amelioration program beneficiaries was launched on Thursday to speed up the distribution of the government's relief program. The Department of Information and Communications Technology said the Relief Agad platform is now available at reliefagad.ph. The Department of Social Welfare and Development said the new system would expedite the delivery of cash subsidies, specifically in the second tranche of the SAP. With the new platform, the DSWD and LGUs will be able to expedite the collection of social amelioration, card data, and interface with electronic payment systems such as PayMaya, GCash, Land Bank Cash Card, among others. This would allow almost instantaneous cash distribution with no need for lines or physical contact. Beneficiaries with no access to smartphones or other devices can be enrolled in the system through manual batch encoding by their respective LGUs. The government has so far distributed a total of 94.3 billion pesos to 16.7 million beneficiaries of the SAP. The Nueva Ecija Interagency Task Force has requested that the province be placed under modified enhanced community quarantine instead of general community quarantine starting May 16. Governor Aurelio Umali on Thursday said this is so that they could afford to relax a bit, but not to the extent of having no assurance without the expected mass testing and COVID-19 vaccine. He added that being under modified ECQ instead of GCQ will help prepare the community, government, and hospitals. As of May 12, Nueva Ecija has recorded 47 positive COVID-19 cases, with 3 deaths, while 26 others have fully recovered. And in Antique, local government units submitted to the regional IATF for COVID-19 their appeal to extend the general community quarantine until May 30. The League of Municipalities in the Philippines Antique chapter met with Governor Rodora J. Cadiao and the Antique IATF on May 13. Libertad Mayor Mary Jean Tie said they were in a dilemma with the recommendation for Antique to be included on the list of low-risk areas as there are still 17 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the province. The LMP also took into account sugar migrants from Negros Occidental and the Antiqueños in Manila who will be coming home. An extension of the GCQ will also ensure that border restriction remains and curfew, liquor, and social distancing will still be carried out. Promoting spas and resorts as tourist destinations is expected to be in a good position during the post-pandemic period as tourists shift to focus on health and wellness. The Department of Tourism, or DOT, is looking at health and wellness tourism as one of the niche products that the Philippines can count on upon recovery from COVID-19. Tourism Assistant Secretary Roberto Alabado III said the DOT is building capacity programs for health and wellness tourism frontliners as well as stakeholders. He said wellness establishments will have to adapt to the new normal, meaning more stringent disinfection and sanitation protocols. Among others, physical distancing as well as online appointments and consultations will be followed. Alabado expects that the entry of international markets might still be at some time next year. Here's another look at today's biggest stories. Areas with low risk of COVID-19 infection will be placed under GCQ and not modified GCQ. Officials of the National Telecommunications Commission expressed regret for their failure to notify the House on cease and desist order against ABS-CBN. The government is set to purchase PPEs and medical supplies for healthcare workers. And wellness tourism is expected to be in a good position during the post-pandemic period. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head onto the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And as we go into the final stage of our enhanced community quarantine, it has also been 2 months since the start of the lockdowns in general. And I know that it has been very challenging and very trying, but we urge the public to do their best to comply with all of the new guidelines. And also, let's work as a team, because although we are easing up a little bit, we have not yet solved the pandemic. So let's work together so that we may not experience a second or third wave. That would be a lot more difficult. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know. From the PNA Newsroom, I am William Theo. Good day to all.